What is going on, guys? I have legitimately, objectively, indubitably, unquestionably good news to share with you guys. This is going to be a pretty dang interesting video. Quickly, guys, I want to be real with you for a second. I don't ask at the start of videos very often for you to subscribe, but my friends, I am definitely asking you now. Subscribe to the channel. I understand why people have not been subscribing much lately, given the wishy-washiness and unstable ground the game has been on lately. That all changes tonight. You are going to see in this video, it is a long video. I give you every piece of news I possibly could get, good, bad, and ugly, about what's going on. But overwhelmingly, this video is so hype. It is so positive. WoR has a beautiful future, and I'm so happy we all get to be a part of it. If you want to be a part of it with me, please subscribe to the channel. I get it. We were worried about the game. Worry no longer. Watch this video. Slap that subscribe button. Give it the thumbs up. Let me know how excited you are in the comments. This is a big boy. Let's get into it. But the core of it is Moonton has already officially partnered with a new publisher for all US gaming related to Watch of Realms and their other properties, and all US things. So the game is saved. Honestly, it is. That is what this means. This video is going to be pretty unique because last night I had an hour-long phone call with an official source based out of China. I can't say who, but you can trust me on it. You'll hear me talk about it later. It's a source that reached out to, I believe, me and 3 other content creators I know of. Maybe it's more, but I know War Guides, Destin, and Susie also talked to them. It was very legit. I didn't question anything they had to say, but everything obviously was not that specific and was kind of speculative regarding long-term solutions for Watch of Realms, why things have gone one way or another. So I had that long call. Afterwards, I briefly spoke directly with Moonton to get their opinions on some things, and then I prepared this whole video that I filmed after my stream today. After the long call, which was like past midnight my time last night, plus waking up early for streaming, and also just being a sleepy guy who had a pretty big lunch, I may have fallen asleep while editing that video, and boy, am I happy that I did, because no longer is this just going to be a, hey, I have some insider information and I have some specific random things from Moonton. It is also going to be, OMG, officially, Moonton has already found a new US publisher. So funny enough, this is the official announcement they drafted and sent to me. I threw it in a Word doc, prepared it for you. We'll go over it. But actually, in the 20 minutes it took me to receive it and prepare it, you'll see they went ahead and Batista Mancher has already announced this. So it's all official. It is official. So what is this video going to look like? We're going to break down the official announcement. I have tons of information about the former publisher and, most importantly, the new publisher, which will be Skystone Games. Skystone Games. It's a US-based publisher out of California. Nothing changes for us. You never hear me or anyone talk about Newverse, our old publisher for US gaming, right? No, you hear about Moonton and you hear about Watch of Realms. You hear about the developer and you hear about the game. The publisher is just like a third thing. It's important, but it doesn't concern us. So the publisher switching to being a US-based publisher for US operations and US publishing is a net win. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff. Going to be fairly casual, if you can't tell from the vibe already. And then I am going to include the video at the end that I had already prepared, because one, I think it's pretty interesting. It was cool to be connected with this source. I'm sure the other creators would share that sentiment. I did get a decent amount of, if not specifics, insider thinking for what's been going on the past exactly now a week. It was like 8 p.m. my time on Saturday when the game went down. It's now I'm filming at 8:45 p.m. one Saturday later. So I think it's pretty interesting. And then really important, if you want to stick to the end, I do speak a lot about compensation. So the new compensation we are now getting, have started to get, will continue to get, and what more I think they need to give us. And what I'm pushing them hard on that. I think we need more than just compensation. I think we need like a thank you gift or a reward or something. Call it entitled. I don't care. All you guys stood by the game this past week when a lot of people quit. I think you guys deserve a sweet little treat. You deserve a gift. So without further ado, let's break down the announcement. This is the first part I just got from my dev contact. Hey, we're going to post the official announcement related to our new publishing strategy soon. Boy, did she mean soon. It was 18 minutes after I got this. It already popped up here officially on Discord. So that's pretty dang interesting. If we continue on, here's the official announcement. And from my quick skimming of the Batista version, I think it's basically the same exact announcement. I haven't seen any differences so far. So let me just take you through it. I don't think I'll read you every word. I've highlighted what I think is most important, and then I'll read you the other key things. Basically, dear WoR commanders, they're thanking us and apologizing for the past week, which I appreciate. I love when they say sorry. I love when developers and games say sorry. I won't name names, but I played a lot of other games in the past that refuse to ever take accountability and say sorry. So they're willing to do it, and I've always given Moonton flowers for that. They're appreciating our patience and our support. You can see over the past period, we have been working diligently to restore Watcher of Realms to its former glory. And actively seeking more stable long-term operational solutions for this game. That is a lot of jargon, meaning we're trying to fix the game so it doesn't break again. They apologize again, which I appreciate again, and they thank us for our patience again. A little redundant, but this is the key thing, right? They are looking for a stable, long-term operational solution. And boy, did they find it. They've always been prioritizing the interests of the players during this period, which has only been a week, remember. So I'm very impressed. Honestly, I'm going to kind of be, giving them a lot of praise here. I'm very impressed how quickly they did this. I'm very impressed. This was literally in a week they did this whole thing. It's impressive. During the interruption period, they began working closely with Skystone Games. Skystone Games, we'll discuss them shortly, and got into talks about an enduring long-term operational plan for success within the game. Their goal is to ensure the game's robust development. We love a robust development in the US market moving forward and to prevent similar unexpected situations from occurring in the future. This is huge, right? Like, this is it. It's like, okay, cool, we got a solution, but how long-term is it? Could this happen again? And they're saying already, front of mind, they want to prevent anything similarly annoying and awful from happening to the game again. They want to prevent that, and we love to hear that. After a lot of deliberations and strategic planning, they are now pleased to announce a significant change in their publishing strategy regarding Watcher of Realms. And yeah, it's already happening, right? This change is happening within just a week. Moving forward, Skystone will take over the publishing responsibilities and become the new publisher for Watcher of Realms in the United States. And I mean, that is just huge. Like I said, we're going to talk briefly about who Skystone is, but in a bunch of different ways, this is a win. They're California-based. So if we're talking, if they're going to help with comms, if they're going to help with like in-the-moment publishing snafus and fixes, they are a solid 16 hours behind Shanghai. So there's going to be coverage all the time. It's not going to be like we're completely dependent on Chinese work hours. We get even an hour behind me. I'm in Mountain Time, California time, Pacific time. That is a big win. And they're American-based. So Trump, Biden, whoever, no one cares, right? It's no longer a Chinese thing. This has now become a U.S. publisher that is assuming these responsibilities for Watcher of Realms US. They'll work alongside Moonton to provide players with an outstanding gaming experience. So here are the key things for us, the transition plan and what's going to happen over the next period of time. It's going to take a bit of time before these transition efforts can all, snap into place, as you might imagine. Tough timing for us, let's be honest, with the Chinese New Year. You'll hear me talk about that later in the stuff I already filmed. But I would think this whole thing can happen certainly within the next 75 days. Not that that really matters anymore, or quite frankly, even mattered to begin with for us. We'll talk about that later too. But just really key thing, this won't take more than 2 months. And it's probably going to take weeks, not months. So let's get into it. We've got to do the migration of player data, which will be conducted with our authorization. So you're going to have to give your permission, which likely means you'll probably get a little compensation. That's pretty nice. Seamlessly, they want to transition operations and services to maintain a consistent gameplay quality. So they don't want things to change much. They just want the publisher to change. That's what we like to hear. And then you can see I've highlighted the most important part: enhancement of community engagement and customer support to elevate the overall player experience. So we will get into this, but Skystone is not a very big publisher, which means we will have a lot of their attention, which is really good. And it's going to be American run, so it's going to be, I think, a little bit more tuned to the American demands when it comes to customer service, and they're going to be on American hours. So for US players, this is a huge win. We should see an improvement in customer support and hopefully community engagement and really just community communications. Comms, as I like to say, is the issue that has plagued this game. So they are actively working on several fronts. This includes the reinstatement of the game in both the App Store and the Google Play Store, so for Apple and Google devices respectively. These processes inevitably require some time to complete. They're in close communication with the relevant platforms. You'll hear about this later. I get into specifics on this that I heard both from our source and from Moonton. They've submitted all their stuff to the App Store and to the Google Play Store. All they do now is wait. So it could take a day. It could take many, many, many days. It's up to Apple and Google to approve the changes and reinstate the games. It won't take months, but we don't know. You know, it could be hours or it could be weeks, right? So they're in close communication, basically meaning they're pestering them daily. So what's going to happen in the end? When will this all finally be done with? Well, already it's done. Now we know the game's not going anywhere anytime soon. So that's phenomenal. And basically, the full transition to Skystone will happen once the in-game data transfer authorization function is ready. At that point, they'll reach out to us through multiple channels to let us know it's ready. We're going to have to give approval. And like I said, I think you'll get at least 50 or 100 diamonds, you know, which is, it's plenty. There's some formality, so you'll probably get some little claim this. Stay tuned. They again thank us for the unwavering support. And we begin a new chapter, and a new chapter indeed. So let's talk about that new chapter explicitly. Nuverse is a Chinese company directly owned by ByteDance. The entire Watcher of Realms relationship to ByteDance, and thus TikTok, and thus all the bullshit we've had to deal with the past week, is entirely because Nuverse is the publisher for the game in America. It's the publisher for the game everywhere, right? Nuverse seems like a pretty good company. They have huge games like Marvel Snap and these other things that I don't know what they are because I don't know that many things. But Marvel Snap is the thing you always hear me talking about because when it comes to mobile gaming in America, this is the feather in Nuverse's cap. We're fairly small potatoes. But Nuverse has been handling everything. This is the publisher. They are Chinese-based. They are owned directly by ByteDance. That is the problem, right? It's a Hong Kong company, but it is Chinese ownership, and it is ByteDance owns the whole thing. So it's a direct relationship to this whole TikTok mess. They're switching publishers for U.S. operations to Skystone. Skystone, as you can see right here, is based in Belmont, California. It is a public company. It's a small company, 2 to 10 employees. You can't always trust this LinkedIn stuff, but I'll tell you, this guarantees it's not more than 50 employees. And I would say it probably is between like 5 and 15. So it's a pretty small company, which I think should actually help us in a big way. But the key thing here is Belmont, California. It's a public American company. What more do you need to know, right? That's what we're looking for. And this is our new publisher. So the relationship for U.S. operations between Moonton and Watcher Realms and Nuverse, which was the problem causing this whole thing, is now going to be severed over the next weeks or maybe a couple months. And it will now become a relationship with a California-based company. Sweet American dollars. What more could President Trump want? No issue. You can see the brass here. It comes down to the president and the co-founder and CEO. The latter is Bill Wang, and the former is David Brevik. From everything I found, Bill Wang is a Chinese American, which sounds like the perfect person to be doing this, and David Brevik just seems like some white guy. So why not? That can't be a bad thing. Here's Bill Wang. This is the CEO. Sorry to stalk you, Bill. It's not really letting me see because I'm not logged in now on this device. I was on my laptop, but he went to BC, so Newton, Massachusetts. One of my best friends, Enrico, went there. Awesome school, Catholic school, American as heck. That's what we're looking for, baby. I think he's perfect. He seems like some American dude who also happens to be Chinese. So I think this is going to be good for us. Let's continue on. You can see Skystone Games. We are a multi-platform gaming company built for global audiences. We help developers realize their dreams and help content creators as well. This is their newest game, Tyrant's Realm. You can see they posted as recently as 5 days ago. I'll show you that in a second. But the key thing is this is their new game. They officially share it. It gets 87 views on Twitter, 2 likes, 1 reshare. To me, that's good news. These guys are small potatoes, and that's what I'm looking for. Moonton is going to be their biggest client, without a doubt. We are no longer the small fish. It's not like, yeah, Moonton will get to you when we're done with Second Diner and Marvel Snap. I'm not saying that's how it was, but it might have been with Nuverse. Now we are the feather in the cap. We are the top priority. We, the players of Watcher Realms, have become the prettiest girls at the dance. And that's what I like to see. You can see these are their games on Steam. They're pretty small. Cheap games, lots of indie stuff. Moonton, when I spoke to them, and also what I heard from our source, you'll hear about this in a second, repeated that like they are independent. They are working unilaterally. They are, representing themselves through this issue. And that's nice because now they're working with a publisher that specializes in working with these indie developers. Also, while we're here on Skystone Games' Steam page, we have to mention they are an official publisher on Steam. Watch of Realms, if you didn't know, is not on Steam. So this actually presents a really strong growth opportunity for the game to capture a new audience of players that may not play mobile games or PC games, cross-platform, that kind of thing on private clients like we do with Watch of Realms, and just play stuff through Steam. That's pretty exciting. They already have a lot of other games, as you can see. Some of these are mobile games, and they go ahead and post them on Steam. I mean, here you can see, right? This is a mobile game, Maniac. It's on Steam. That could be really good for Watch of Realms. And now we're going to be the biggest indie developer they have, or if not the biggest, one of the biggest. It seems like the biggest, certainly going to be their big breadwinner. Now, you can never really trust these dollar signs when it comes to things like LinkedIn. I mean, a lot of these things are not as public as you might imagine. You can see just 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, actually, August 2020, they did a seed round. So that's when they were getting up and running. They raised $3 million, which is like solid. I'm sure they're worth more now because they're still going, or I would assume they are. But this is not some huge company. It's not, I don't even think they're going to be like a 9-figure company. I think we're talking like an 8-figure kind of company where like Watch of Realms makes a lot of money. I'd say, well, I from the research I've done the past week, when I was like, should we buy Watch of Realms? Should us, the players, should we get together and buy it? I think Watch of Realms is probably worth between like $100 and $250 million. It's hard to put an exact number on it. But you can see it's a big coup for these guys to be publishing it. They don't own it, but to be publishing it, I think we're going to be a top priority. So I think that's pretty dang cool. And just to finish up, here's just like the newest game they've got out there. It's some kind of dungeon crawler, retro graphics. Looks pretty cool if you want to play it. There's an ad. That's a sign to click off, I suppose. But you can see it's just good news. Bill Weizhang Wang. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Bill Weizhang Wang and David Brevik. Sorry if I said that wrong as well. Our new CEO and president of the Watch of Realms publisher to come for U.S. operations. I think they can lead us to the promised land. This is phenomenal news. You can see when you hear me talking later, it's a little speculative. I'm excited, but it's speculative. As you can see right now, this is just pure raw emotion. I'm freaking thrilled. They did this in 1 week. We have a U.S. publisher lined up. They've announced it publicly, so it's now, things are in motion. I don't see how this is going to fold. And even if it does fold, God forbid, knock on that sweet little wood, even if it does fold, it's out there now that they had been looking for a new partner, a new publisher. They announced formally and openly, publicly, a new partnership with a new publisher. So even if somehow this does fail, again, knock on wood, they're in too deep now. Like the cat's very much out of the bag. You can't put the, what's the expression? You can't put the something back in the bag. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? This is all happening, right? Like if this fails, they will find a new publisher because they're done with Nuverse when it comes to U.S. operations. So that is huge. Let's get to the rest of the video. Again, we've got the stuff from the official source, and then if you just want to skip ahead, very key thing, we do break down all the compensation that we already have coming, that already has arrived, that will continue to come, and then the things that could come that I'm trying to make them deliver to us. Thank you guys. Let's get to it. How the heck are you guys? I am Fastidious. Welcome to my channel. I know around here it might have seemed like business back to normal, business as usual lately. I promise you it has not felt like that for me, and behind the scenes it has not been that at all. I know a lot of you are still insanely concerned about the state of the game and the future. I am at least as concerned, I assure you. So I've been working a lot behind the scenes to get more information, but I didn't just want to keep posting a daily update video every day. Now that it has been a full week, we're coming up on nearly exactly a full 7 days since the shutdown when all the TikTok stuff happened and the game went down for 48 hours. So what's going on? Well, as you guys saw, we got more compensation today. I've been in talks with Moonton specifically about compensation and news we can expect in the next 2 weeks or so. So I'm going to share that with you. It looks like we could get even better news and even better compensation. So please stick around for that. But very, very cool thing, I have found a contact. I can't say who, but I do have an official source that is someone on the ground in China who is intimately familiar with the gaming industry and the mobile gaming industry. That's as much as I can say. What I can also tell you is I know War Guides has spoken to this person, and I know they are planning to speak to other content creators as well. So don't just think I'm blowing smoke out of my sweet little ass. This is legit stuff. I just cannot say who it is for obvious legal reasons. But I have a lot of news as to what's going on behind the scenes with these Chinese developers, particularly those under like the Nuverse umbrella, companies like Marvel Snap and obviously Moonton. So I've become privy to a lot of like what they knew, what they didn't know, and what they're planning and what we can expect. So let's get right into it. I want to share that. We're going to start with all that stuff. I'm going to share as much as I can. I think some of you will be really satisfied with this information, and some of you are going to say it's nothing. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle, but this is literally everything I know, everything my source could tell me. I'm sure War Guides is going to make a video too. I think Destin's talking to this person. I think Susie maybe, so check out them as well. You can corroborate anything I'm going to say. But overall, it's very good news. It gives us a lot of information. And then at the end, I do have official stuff from Moonton, particularly regarding compensation. So we'll come back to this. Let's just throw on our Morgan cinematic. And if you see me looking over here, I've got 4 pages of notes. I was on an hour-long call with this source, going through every little thing and going over what like legally I can share and cannot share, trying to get them to share more with me. So I promise I'm doing the best, and I promise this isn't like me making up a deep throat situation. This is real. Like I said, go check out the other content creators. So I spoke to someone who does like work, I'll say at least next to, if not in the gaming industry in China, and is very up to date with this stuff and is working on this stuff, right? So the first question is, you're going to hear me talk about Marvel Snap a lot, because a lot of things I know, I was told by my source, are exactly the same for Marvel Snap as Moonton. It's the same situation, right? An independent developer. So for Marvel Snap, it's called Second Diner, which is an American game developer. And then for Watcher Realms, it is called Moonton. And those are owned by Nuverse. And Nuverse is owned by ByteDance. ByteDance owns TikTok. That's how we all got affected. So the first thing we got to talk about that I discussed with the source is, why did these developers, Second Diner for Marvel Snap and Moonton for Watcher Realms, why did they not provide us with early notice? Why were we playing and all of a sudden we get that alert on the screen saying, tough titties, the game's down, who knows if and when it will be back, right? Basically, what I've been told is the teams, all these developer teams, they're so far down the food chain, it really was as sudden for their team as it was for us. It was as sudden for them and their development crew as it was for us. The quote I was given is they were just as shocked. You know, whether you want to believe that or not, we talked about this for a while. I do believe them. I think basically what I understand is they did hear internally that there was stuff going on with the law, but they were reassured time and time again that because the Supreme Court decision took many months, and because President Trump, or at the time soon to be President Trump, was so clear that it wouldn't be a problem, they were eternally reassured time and time again that it wasn't going to affect, it wasn't going to trickle down from the top of the head of the spear, or whatever I've been saying for my analogies, all the way from ByteDance and TikTok affecting these little games. That obviously was not what happened, right? They were suddenly informed at the end of this that, oh, right now you have to shut your servers down and you have to close down your ISPs. That's essentially what happened. It was this sudden thing. So they, it's not like they never thought it could at all be possible, but time and time again, they were told, actually, it's not possible. They knew the law was there the same way we knew the law was there, but they never thought it could affect them. So take from that what you will. I'm choosing to believe them. What else can we do? Basically, that Supreme Court decision took so long, so they thought it was going to be good stuff. It came, and like in that moment, from the very top at ByteDance, they were like, shut it all down. So that is what they did. They were just suddenly informed at the last minute that it was the opposite of what they'd been told, that things would be okay. Things weren't okay. And in that moment, they had to have it removed from the stores, the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, and ISPs went down and the servers in America went down. This does come with good news, though. It really does. Because that mandate came from the very top, from ByteDance, to fully shut down everything. That's why this was all so severe and crazy. But on the same token, now that the dust has kind of settled, it is really clear, and this was repeated to me multiple times, that even if this TikTok ban is upheld, so right now we have that 75-day moratorium, even if it is upheld, this can't happen again. The worst thing that could happen is we stay in this limbo, which, as I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of stuff pointing to the fact that it will get better, not stay the same, but it can't get worse. We'll stay in this limbo where we're not in the Google Play Store, we're not in the Apple Store, but the game can't go down again. Even if 75 days comes and goes, TikTok doesn't sell, and TikTok is officially banned, it is now that the dust has settled, these games are like 100% confident, these developers, Second Diner and Moonton and everything, they're really confident that they would not have to take it down again. It was like this very reactionary decision. There might have been some strategy to it when ByteDance was like, shut it all down, but they are all saying that they won't do that again. They won't have to do that again. So it's not like, oh, well, it's only 75 days. Worst case in 75 days, we're exactly as we are right now. So yeah, explicitly, it was said to me, and I received confirmation, the quote I have here is, they will not have to shut the servers down again in America or switch off the ISPs, the internet service providers. That was explicitly stated to me. So moving on to the next thing, this is the real big problem at the moment, right? And no one is, from what I'm hearing, no one is pretending this isn't a problem. The game has not returned to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. It has not. So what do I know? All these developers, I have confirmation, Second Diner for Marvel Snap, Moonton for Mobile Legends Bang Bang and Watcher Realms and everything, they have all already submitted everything they can possibly submit to the Apple Store, to the Google Play Store, to have the apps go back up and be reinstated. You know, companies like Moonton are pushing them daily to make it happen. As soon as the ISP was restored after that 48-hour period or 47-hour period when the game did go down, companies, including Moonton, immediately reached out to Apple and Google, submitted everything they had to, all the paperwork, all the dotting all the I's, checking all the T's, so that the apps could be relaunched and the games could be re-added as soon as possible. But the companies in the app stores like Google and Apple respectively, they completely follow their own processes. It's completely independent. So everything Moonton could do for Watcher Realms or Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and everything Second Diner could, you know, on the same token do for Marvel Snap, I have been told explicitly has already been done. You know, it's officially out of their hands and it's in the hands of Apple and Google respectively for their App Store and their Google Play Store. So like from Moonton's end, all those required materials and things have been submitted, and now all we do is wait. It's under internal review by the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Moonton and other developers like Second Diner with Marvel Snap, they check progress daily. At least that's what I was told. And they're just in the same position as us. We're sitting on our hands. They're waiting for final approval. We're waiting for it to show up, and we just wait. You know, it can take longer than expected, which is seemingly what is happening because, you know, Google and Apple are being extremely cautious. This is like a really sensitive legal, geopolitical issue. So they're taking their sweet time and they're really trying to, I guess, do their due diligence. So, you know, this is the kind of thing where we could wake up tomorrow and the Apple Store and the Google Play Store have added them back and they've approved Marvel Snap and Mobile Legends and Watcher Realms and they're all back, or it could take a lot longer than tomorrow. Does that mean a week? Does that mean a month? We don't know, but everything has been submitted, so it's just sitting and waiting and wishing and hoping it's sooner rather than later. So yeah, basically to summarize that, everything has already been done on Moonton's end, and any delays are just because Apple and Google are taking their time, given the sensitivity and the hugeness of this issue, even if these little games are not huge things, right? Even if Marvel Snap and Mobile Legends and Watcher Realms are not such a big deal. Also, guys, obviously, for anyone that's been trying to buy anything in game right now, I'm not saying you should be, but if that's you and you've been trying, you may have noticed it's not working with the Apple Store and the Google Play Store, and you just can't buy things with normal currency. That is a consequence of what happened with these app stores for Apple and for Google. So if you do want to get stuff, you're going to have to use the in-game currency, which is W Gold. So if you want to do that, again, no pressure. Don't do this unless you already wanted to spend. But if you want a solution to spending, I recommend using my SmileOne link. This will get you that W Gold, and then you can make whatever purchases you'd like to do in-game. As you can see on the screen right now, this is lasting until February the 3rd. There is a cumulative top-up event. So in this event, for just one W Gold purchase, you get the first thing. And then as you hit all the other milestones, and if you get more and more and more W Gold, you get all of these extra rewards. It also all comes discounted from the SmileOne website using my link. So again, if you weren't planning to spend or if you're hesitant about spending right now, obviously don't do it and no pressure. But I know a lot of you guys still want to spend. So use my link, check out SmileOne, and maybe you can benefit from this cumulative top-up event. So I took this information and I separately, with what I felt like I could tell, like what I'm telling you guys, I told this to Moonton and I said, what's going on with this stuff? if it does happen, what's going to happen if you get approved, if it is approved, if Watch Realms is allowed to be re-added to the Apple Store and the Google Play Store, but you guys are still on holiday. If you don't know, they broke today for their big holiday break in China. The Chinese New Year holidays start today, and they're lasting until like February 6th or 7th. Moonton's going to be out of the office. So I went straight to Moonton, and this I can tell you, I spoke with them, and I said, are you still going to be committed to inform the players as soon as there is an update, whether that be news or literally things get updated in the Apple Store and the Google Store? And they said, yeah, we actually have to keep a team, and they're doing this. And I'm not even going to give them flowers for this because this is what they should be doing, but I'm happy they are doing it. They're going to have a group of people daily available checking this stuff, even over their Chinese New Year holiday break, in case good news does come or any news comes, bad news, whatever it is, some news comes so that they can share it with us immediately. Again, take from that what you will. I'm going to choose to believe them. I know some people will pessimistically say, yeah, sure, they're going to give us news fast. And we've been burned enough times. I don't so blame you. But what can we really do? I'm going to assume that's the case. And I mean, I definitely believe them that they're having people on standby during the holidays. You know, some companies, they like taking a lot of holidays. So doing that, I think it's pretty good. I then explicitly asked them, all right, so they couldn't get into specifics with me, but I was like, if the apps have been already submitted and you've already done everything, submitted the required materials, is there a timeline for Apple and Google? And they reiterated with what my source told me. Like, it could be tomorrow. It could be way longer than tomorrow. So they're just sitting and waiting. They're hoping it comes soon, just like we are. So back to maybe the juiciest information from the source. With regard to the question, is there a long-term solution in place? Because we can't be in this limbo for another 70 days or 150 days or another year, right? There needs to be a long-term solution. And basically what I was told is developers for these games like Marvel Snap and Watcher of Realms, they like fully are understanding the frustrations and concerns that we have. And according to the source, all of them have already begun independently operating and now actively looking for long-term solutions. So like, what exactly does that mean? Well, basically this involves a lot of business negotiations, legal considerations. So I wasn't able to get a lot of specifics, but what I did get is confirmation from my source that these discussions are already ongoing and in progress, and developers like Second Diner for Marvel Snap or Moonton for Watcher of Realms are like operating as their own entity independently, looking at every option for a solution. So what does that mean? Well, I was assured there will be a solution definitely in place. And what I was told is, this is how they told me, what Moonton is doing is very similar to what Second Diner is doing. So I can speak to what Second Diner is doing. So the Watcher Realm solution, I was told, is very similar, at least the avenues they are pursuing, very similar to the avenues being pursued with Marvel Snap. And what are those? Well, the main thing is finding a new publisher, like leaving Nuverse altogether. Marvel Snap is thinking of doing that. And I've been told these other developers like Moonton that are operating now independently are looking at the same kind of solutions. So this is obviously very sensitive kind of stuff. You know, if these guys are in business negotiations, I couldn't get any more specifics, but I've been told that these companies are operating independently on their own volition, looking for long-term solutions such as a new publisher. So that obviously would be the cleanest solution. You know, you can go check it out yourself. Second Diner and Marvel Snap have talked a lot about it. And I've been told companies like Moonton are looking into exactly the same thing. I was told they're looking at everything, all possibilities. They will solve it directly. So that's what we got. So the last thing I can kind of say on that subject, and then I'll just wrap it up really neatly, is these developers like Second Diner for Marvel Snap and Moonton for Watcher of Realms have communicated in their Chinese gaming industry space. They've communicated and expressed full 100% confidence that the problem is going to be solved. So all I could do was get that and relay it to you. Again, you make of it what you will. And to recap, basically, when you want to fix these games and find a solution, you got to check every avenue, such as finding new publishers and stuff like that. And what I can tell you is, according to this source, quote, Moonton is pursuing a very similar solution to Marvel Snap. And we know what the Marvel Snap solution is. In my opinion, this is the best solution. So I do think this is good news, and I do think this is something. This isn't just blowing smoke. So I think that's pretty cool. So to wrap up, let's talk about the compensation we're getting. And I'll be quite frank, behind the scenes, I've been pushing them to give you more and more compensation every day. So we started getting some now, and I do think there could be more on the horizon. Let's get into it. All right, so let's recap the initial compensation, the new compensation, and then what I've been pushing them even further still to try to get us. You can see, thank you for your return. This came after the 48-hour break when the game was down in America. I believe this was for everyone. 5 rare summoning crystals, 250 diamonds, 3 huge stamina potions. It's solid, but I think this really undersold the severity of what was going on. They did the same kind of compensation, almost identical, just 1 less huge stamina potion. Who the heck knows why? This was specifically for US players, US-based players. Again, I thought this was insufficient. I mean, it's all together. If you add it up, you got 10 rare summoning crystals, 500 diamonds, 5 huge stamina pots. It's not bad at all, but it kind of acts like this was just a random blip thing and not this ongoing, really, scary thing for the health of the game. Then last night, we got this new compensation. This is specifically for US players, I believe. A lot of gold dragon tokens to help you regain progress there. 3 free days of a privilege card so you can catch up any farming you might have missed with improved efficiency. 3 more huge stamina potions, 500 diamonds. Again, I think this is pretty good, but it's clearly not enough. And now the best thing, I'm not going to read this whole thing for you. I also did discuss this with Moonton directly a couple hours before they announced it, and they said, don't make the video yet, don't talk about it yet, just wait for the official announcement. And they were honest. It came like 2 hours after we talked, so it's fine. But basically, this is pretty cool. So it might not look like much. It's 1 rare summoning crystal. It is 50 diamonds. It is 1 huge stamina potion. But this will happen, and this will come every single day, indefinitely. So when will it end? Now, here's the quote I have directly from Moonton. We will receive this compensation daily until the game is back in the store and the full experience is restored. So my understanding is that is back in the store and then probably even a little bit longer runway until it's just 100% back to normal. Like they found a long-term solution. So not just back in the store, but they haven't resolved, well, what's going to happen in 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 1 year, right? So likely they find one of those other solutions like Marvel Snap is looking into, or something that we can count on and be confident in long-term. So I think this will last for weeks at the very least. And that's pretty good. I mean, if you add it up, a week, that's 7 more free summons, 350 diamonds, 7 huge stamina potions. Huge stamina potions are worth 60 diamonds, so it's another 420 diamonds. I mean, that is something. Again, though, I think now this whole package, if we take these 4 things, and especially this daily thing we're going to get indefinitely, which I really like, that is good compensation. But what I expressed to Moonton when we spoke last night, and they were pretty receptive to, I think we need more than just compensation. I think they need to do like a goodwill gift or a thank you guys so much reward. Don't even call it compensation, because a lot of us are standing by the game right now when you don't have to. You could go find a game that isn't out of China and doesn't have these issues. So I pitched them a couple things. I was like, you should consider giving a lot more than 5 rare summoning crystals, or maybe consider giving more premium currencies, like a handful of ancient summons, not give everyone 20 or 50 or whatever. I mean, they can decide what, but I was saying even just a few, it shows a lot of good faith that you're willing to give something a little more premium. And I don't think it would throw off the balance of the game in any way. And I don't think it would lose them money. I think it would actually earn them money because they'd be buying goodwill with the free gift. And then finally, I told them they should do something akin to the compensation or the reward or the gift, whatever you want to call it, after we discovered the summoning bug. So I don't think we all need a selector ticket. I still haven't even used mine, so I can show you. I don't think we all need a selector ticket that can give you a legendary lord or Ajax or the best legendaries in the game, like Silas and Virna and Eloin and so on, right? But I think they should give us something. So I told them, what if you gave us a legendary selector card that actually was all the heroes from the normal pool except these guys, right? So yeah, you might be annoyed and you might be like, no, I want Silas, I want Hex. But actually, that person that doesn't have Broke here getting Broke here, or getting Faircy, or getting Arrogance, who's not listed here. I mean, there's a lot of cool things they could do, and they seemed pretty receptive to it. And I'm going to hope they do something like that, because I think a lot of us are standing by the game right now through a pretty sticky time. And I think they should, I think they do appreciate it, and I think they could stand to show it a little more, because this is a real make or break moment for the game. So I know some of the things I said probably weren't as specific as you want, but this took me a lot of time to get all this information together. So hopefully you do value it. Hopefully this video is going to be a bitch to edit, because I had to stop and start so many times. So I really hope you like it. I'm trying to help keep this game going, if you can't tell. I really want it to. You know, I've been talking with other games, and I'm not going to stop talking with other games. I probably will figure something out, so I run some other stuff. but I don't want this game to go anywhere. I don't want to leave it, not just because it's my livelihood, but honestly, I really do love it. And I think a lot of us do love it as well. So it would just be such a pity to see it go away. I'll tell you from my conversations with my source and then my smaller conversations about this, random specific stuff I mentioned from Moonton, I do feel more confident, but let's not act like everything's solved. This just shows things are pointing in the right direction, which is awesome, but things need to start going in the right direction. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was valuable to you. Like I said, I encourage you to go check out WoR Guides and some of the others who are probably going to cover this subject. Thank you. I've been Fastidious. Share it with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.
Their goal is to ensure a robust... So they are working actively on several